Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. This is exactly what I mean when I'm referring to the cowardice nature of the Republican establishment and frankly a good portion of the conservative base. Where is your spine? I mean, conservatives have no cultural power. When it comes to Donald Trump, it's man versus machine. Democrats or liberals in general, basically across the Western world, have total power over the culture, messaging, globalist entities, and globalist priorities. And the sad reality is, conservatives have nothing. And how do you expect to win if you let the Democrat machine walk all over you? If you give in to the media narratives and the media slander, if you accept defeat and let them destroy your political leader? I'm looking directly at you, Laura Ingram and Fox News and the rest of these neocon hacks. What do you think is the end result? You think the Democrat machine is just gonna stop? You think Donald Trump's the end game? Or are you ceding more power to the dishonest, slanderous Democrat machine? Folks, I am riled up here in response to what Laura Ingram from Fox News said on a recent podcast with Lisa Booth. The neocon establishment is trying to dump Trump. And let me explain why this is a recipe for disaster. It's an admission of defeat, setting back this new conservative grassroots movement 6 years or more. We've got some stuff to get into, folks, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so first off, we need context. I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't paying attention to the mainstream media, and so you might have missed this one. Fox News host Laura Ingram says Americans are, quote, exhausted from political conflict and might think it's time to turn the page on Trump. Fox News host Laura Ingram expresses doubt over whether voters are ready to back Trump in 2024. A vocal Trump supporter, Ingram said voters are exhausted by the constant battle in politics. She said Americans may instead turn to GOP candidates who follow Trump's style of policy. People conflate Trump with people's overall sense of happiness in the country. Donald Trump's been a friend of mine for 25 years, and I'm always very open about this on my show. But we'll see whether that's what the country wants, Ingram continued. The country, I think, is so exhausted, they're so exhausted by the battle, the constant battle, that they may believe that, well, maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has all of Trump's policy who's not Trump. Someone who's like Trump but is not Trump. I mean, for Pete's sakes, that's like wanting the Godfather to be someone other than Marlon Brando. It just doesn't work. Donald Trump is the guy. Or I guess Donald Trump is the Godfather. But I mean, jokes aside, folks, this right here exemplifies the naivete of the neoconservative Republican establishment. It's that same weakness that I'm always pointing to with figures like Tim Scott or Lindsey Graham. They care too much about the mainstream media press. They care too much about what the New York Times says about them. And it's why we're always hailing Ron DeSantis as the clear heir to the throne. His superpower being that he doesn't give a hoot. At this point, if you just dump Trump, you put your tail between your legs and you walk away and you say, well, it's too much drama. We're exhausted by it all. Who wins? The mainstream leftist media wins because they've created all of the drama with their endless attacks and slander campaigns against Donald Trump. You give them the win. That's exactly what they want. They want Donald Trump to be associated with endless scandal and endless drama. If you vote for this guy, it's gonna continue. Is it because of Donald Trump? No, it's because of them. And if you give them that victory, if you give the left-wing establishment and the mainstream media machine that win, you think it's gonna end with Donald Trump? You think that the drama is just gonna go away? Of course not. If they were able to destroy Donald Trump from within using that exact tactic, well then whoever's gonna be the next guy, whether it's Ron DeSantis or anyone else, they're gonna face the exact type of slanderous campaigns and attack campaigns as Donald Trump did, unless they're a neocon Washington swamp establishment creature. And see, that's the thing. The mainstream media is trying to create a standard here where only a particular type of Republican that they accept should be elected. Otherwise, they will go on another destruction campaign. What they're trying to do is demoralize the Republican base. If ever you elect any political dynamite like Donald Trump ever again, well, the same thing's gonna happen. I mean, it's basically a threat. And what do you do in response to a threat? What do you do in response to a bully? If a bully keeps coming to you every single morning, raises a fist to your nose and says, give me your lunch money, if you keep giving in and you keep giving your lunch money, it's never going to end. In fact, it's going to escalate. you will have emboldened that bully to take more action, to become more aggressive and more drastic. You will let the bully know that the bully wins. If you stand up for yourself and if you stand up for the right thing, then it ends right there. The last thing this conservative movement needs are conservative leaders or conservative thought leaders who are giving in to the media narrative, who are giving up. Oh, we're just so exhausted of it all. You win, leftist media. No, absolutely not. The exact opposite has to happen. As they continue to attack the former president, as they continue to make his life hell and continue with this political persecution, it's not time to cower in fear and to accept defeat and to let the corrupt establishment win. It's time to stand up for your political leader and your party leader. It's time to stand up for the man that they're trying to destroy, because that man is trying to stand up for you and stand up for American greatness. If you let the corrupt establishment, globalist establishment win, then not only will you lose, but you'll set the conservative movement back nearly a generation. You think this whole thing just started with Donald Trump? No, of course not. The demonization of conservatives and conservative values has been an ongoing process for possibly the last 2 decades or longer. You know, starting off with Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, the way they turned Fox News into this meme. I mean, you have all of these ignorant leftists, these ignorant kids interviewed on the streets, and the amount of times you hear, oh, my Fox News rhetoric, oh, my Fox News this, that, and the other. It's been an ongoing brainwash campaign for the past 2 decades to demonize and caricature conservatives. And of course, it's all culminated to where we are today. And if you crawl up into a ball and assume the fetal position, you will have lost everything. The reality is, without Donald Trump, the Republican Party might have been done. The conservative movement in the West may have just fizzled out. Or worst of all, Hillary Clinton may have been president. And let's just put it into perspective. Donald Trump doesn't need to be fighting the way that he is. The man's almost 80 years old. He's got multiple billions of dollars in assets, but he's been unrelenting in his fight against the establishment and his fight for America. He hasn't given up on a conservative future, and now you have conservatives giving up on him. Without Donald Trump, there is no new conservative movement or conservative resurgence that we've seen in the West. And without Donald Trump, who is there? I mean, really, Ron DeSantis isn't ready to run. The state of Florida needs him. He's 45 years old and he's still building his political legacy. Who's the other option? Ted Cruz? Not only is Ted Cruz unelectable, but Ted Cruz is the establishment conservative wet dream. There is no other option. It's Trump or bust. The only thing that Donald Trump needs is a conservative establishment and a conservative base who's willing to stand by him the way he's been willing to stand by America and his vision for America. Laura Ingram says, we need Trump policies, but maybe we don't need Trump. No, you need Trump. It's that simple. And after everything he's gone through, after everything was weaponized against him to stop him from securing a second term in office, after all the unfinished business, after all the ugliness, this lack of loyalty that we're seeing from neoconservatives is disheartening. It's one of the major pitfalls of Western conservatism in general, the cowardice. To have this man so heavily demonized and investigated, slandered and destroyed, and to not stand by him would be utterly disgraceful. And with this most recent attack of classified documents, I mean, the argument in the righteous side is as clear as day. John Solomon puts it into perspective on Fox News.
I apologize for looking down, but I have to, it's so fresh, it's on my phone. It literally just came in. This is from President Trump's office. It just came in a few minutes ago. As we can all relate to, everyone ends up having to bring home their work from time to time. American presidents are no different. President Trump, in order to prepare the work the next day, often took documents, including classified documents, to the residence. He had a standing order. There's the word I've been looking for. That documents removed from the Oval Office and taken to the residence were deemed to be declassified the moment he removed them. The power to classify and declassify documents rests solely with the President of the United States. The idea that some paper-pushing bureaucrat with classification authority delegated by the President needs to approve that the classification is absurd. I asked around over the last couple of days.
And so you're clearly on the righteous side, and to give in to the evil, deceptive, corrupt machine, to give them the win that they want, instead of standing up for what's righteous, is, like I just stated, utterly disgraceful and a huge mistake. If you give in just a little bit, if you give an inch, they're going to take a mile. If you let them win and say, with Donald Trump, it's just too much drama. My little itty bitty heart just can't handle it. They're going to stampede you. Mark my words, it's clear. If they can destroy Donald Trump, they can destroy anyone. And if you think they won't, your naivete cannot be helped. So no, it's not time to move on from Donald Trump because of all the drama. It's time to finally stand up against the deep state mainstream media machine, because once again, that's the difference between right and left. These leftoids, man, regardless of how wrong they are, they stick together and they fight. You gotta give them that. Conservatives, at the smallest little inclination of a scandal or a negative mainstream media press piece, hit piece, these neocon hacks flee like a bunch of cowards. No more. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I have a feeling you guys are probably going to enjoy this one a little bit more than usual. Of course, leave a like if you did. I'm going to get back to work. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.